On the 3rd of August 2017, Barcelona and the entire world of football were given a huge shock when Neymar's legal representatives paid €222 million to Barcelona. That was the release clause the Catalan club put on the Brazilian, and it had just been triggered. That very move was very unusual. First of all, in Spain, the procedure is to pay the buyout clause to La Liga, who will then pass the money on to the club. But La Liga refused to take the money, so Neymar's representatives paid directly to Barcelona. But more unusual was the fact that Neymar was breaking up the famed MSN rather prematurely. The three South American attackers had an unbelievable connection at Barcelona, and we all just thought that they would be together for many more years. But Neymar wanted out, and his rumored reason was that he was tired of being in Messi's shadow. Anyway, who else but PSG could afford to pay that ridiculous sum for just one player? They made him the most expensive footballer of all time, and that spelt the beginning of an absolutely amazing the Champions League for the first time ever. Now, scoring goals has never been the problem for Neymar. When it comes to goal scoring, he actually became much better at PSG. He scored 105 goals in 186 appearances at Barcelona, but he has already scored 100 in just 105 appearances for PSG. That's an insane goal-to-game ratio. So yes, he does get a truckload of goals. But the problem the fans have had with him in his 5 years at PSG so far has been that he is hardly ever available for the big games. In his debut season, he got injured in February, and that left him on the sidelines for the rest of the season. He played the first leg of the Champions League round of 16 game against Madrid, but couldn't feature in the second leg, and they were ousted. The following season, the injury came earlier, this time in January. He was absent for both legs of the round of 16 game as PSG bowed out to Manchester United in the Champions League. Point of correction, he was actually present for the second leg. Surely, we can't forget that unforgettable face on the touchline when Rashford scored the goal that sent PSG packing, and of course, the subsequent insults to the refs which earned him a 3-match ban. But it has not all been horrible for Neymar at PSG though. In the 2019-2020 season, his third season in France, 16 tie against Dortmund, inspired a late comeback against Atalanta in the quarter-final, and set up one goal against Leipzig in the semis to send PSG to their first ever Champions League final. They ended up losing to Bayern, but fans were given a taste of what a fully fit, fully determined, and fully dedicated Neymar could bring them. So, they were absolutely in support of a contract extension for the Brazilian until 2025. But unfortunately, the following season, it was back to status quo. He struggled with injuries yet again, which forced him to miss the Champions League games against his former club, Barcelona. Perhaps, the boiling point for the fans, the owners, and stakeholders at PSG was the disgraceful exit from the Champions League at the hands of Real Madrid in the just concluded season. After acquiring Messi in the summer, in addition to Donnarumma, Ramos, Hakimi, and a few other superstar players, PSG had arguably the best squad in Europe and were understandably one of the favourites to win the Champions League. But they did not even manage to get past the round of 16 after Real Madrid turned around a 2-goal lead in the second half of the second leg to send the Parisians packing. That game was the limit for most fans. They had it up to here. In PSG's next game after the loss, the fans booed and whistled at Mbappé, who scored 2 goals over both legs against Madrid. But the whistles were significantly loudest for both Messi and Neymar. As far as fans were concerned, the two former Barca men, who received the highest wages at the club, didn't give enough against Real Madrid. Oh, and by the way, Neymar had his regular seasonal injury. He was out in November and only made his return in the first leg against Madrid in February. So, after what most fans would call a failed season, winning just the league and crashing out in the Champions League round of 16, Neymar seemed like the perfect person to pour out all frustrations upon. Messi, despite underperforming, is only a newbie at the club, so many think he should be given another season to prove himself. But the man who has been there for 5 years has absolutely no excuse. As far as many fans are concerned, he has not lived up to expectations and they want him out. And the thing is, it is not only the fans. PSG seem to want to start a completely new era next season, and it has been evident from their activities in the transfer window so far. They did everything to make sure Mbappé stayed, and they succeeded. They decided to not renew the Maria's contract. They sacked Leonardo Arroyo and hired Luis Campos to replace him as sporting director. They sacked Mauricio Pochettino and have now signed Christophe Galtier as new first-team coach. They've already made big decisions in this transfer window, but it looks like they're not done just yet. They want to be ready for their new era, and they are ready to make the hard calls to achieve that. And one of those hard calls could be selling one of their biggest stars, Neymar Jr. There hasn't yet been an official statement that the Brazilian is up for sale, but the club's president's statement a couple weeks ago may just be telling us all we need to know. When asked if Neymar is part of the new project at PSG, Nasser Al-Khelaifi, PSG's president, said, "We can't speak about this in public as some players will arrive, and some players will leave the club. These are private negotiations." That right there is a statement that would have never been made about a player like Mbappe. That sounds like the folks in charge at PSG may be flirting with the idea of letting Neymar go. But just in case you're not convinced by that not very clear statement, check this out. When asked about a possible Neymar departure in this transfer window, here's what Al-Khelaifi had to say. "A possible departure of Neymar this summer. What I can tell you is that we expect all players to do a lot more than last season. A lot more. They all have to be 100%. You have to be humble again. You have to change to avoid injuries, suspensions, and fouls that change a game." Now, with all we have said in this video about Neymar's time at PSG so far, isn't it obvious who exactly the PSG president is referring to with that statement? Unsurprisingly, after that statement, rumors started flying around that Neymar was frustrated by the comments of the president and now wants to leave the club. Neymar turns 31 in February, so if he truly wants to leave and PSG are willing to let him go, he may be available for a relatively affordable price this summer, definitely more affordable than PSG got him in 2017. And if recent transfer rumors are anything to go by, he could be on his way to London to reunite with Thomas Tuchel and Thiago Silva, two other main actors in PSG's first ever Champions League final appearance. Bear in mind that Chelsea now have a new owner who is looking to invest in his first transfer window at the club. Also, they just got rid of Lukaku's huge wages, so the Blues could actually realistically bring the former Santos wonderkid to Stamford Bridge. Neymar has also been linked to other clubs like Newcastle, Manchester United, and even a return to Barcelona, but with United and Newcastle not offering Champions League football, and Barcelona unlikely to pay big money for Neymar, Chelsea might just be his next destination. Of course, if he leaves PSG this summer. So, we throw the question to you, is Neymar going to leave PSG? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. As you do that, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Peace out.